from what I understand, this part is something we're gonna talk about next year. Because of certain circumstances, we're gonna talk about it now instead of waiting until next budget year. So, has to do with, email for all of our users, for our employees.
Think about this as a communications platform. It's email, it's calendar, it's contacts. We've had, the training committee has had a horrible time trying to communicate training events and other things to our volunteers. I think the personnel, or not the personnel, but the long-range planning committee has also identified communications as a big point failure. What we need to do is get all of our guys' email on our system with an @smithcountyfire.org email address. And we can build in groups to have everyone at smithcountyfire.org, have individual department names that actually group out these guys so that we can get communications across more effectively. What you're looking at is the cost to buy the user licenses from Microsoft to enable us to do this. We already have the infrastructure in place. Our infrastructure will handle it. It's just the licenses. That is a high cost there, but that's our annual cost if we hosted it through Google or through GoDaddy. That would be your annual cost. So you're buying a user cow, they're about $60 a piece. Your annual cost with Google is about $50 a piece. So over a year, you'll pay for it. Communications is always a big issue, and this is one way we can really reach out. If they're not getting the information, it's because they're not checking their email, and that's on them.
Two things here. Let me explain something. Not that I know anything about the technology part, but I do know that I came up here one morning. Larry's truck was here. I tried to get in the door was locked. I had to use my key to get in. I go in, I say, "Why was the door locked?" He said, "I have not left." He was there all night. Because I don't know what all happened, but some way the Active Directory was doing something, and the different email addresses was doing something, and he lost something, and he was scrambling, trying to get everything back in line, make it work and all that. And basically, if we can get this system in place, it's gonna alleviate that problem of what he went through, just to keep everything up online. Plus, if we don't go with this, then he's gonna have to spend time, labor and all, working with the Active Directory we got and all of the emails that we got, which are your AOLs, your Hotmail, your Gmail, all that stuff, and it's just all different servers out there that you're trying to work with. And next year, when we come to the board and say, okay, we're ready to do this, he's gonna have to spend all this time to change all these Active Directories over to the smithcountyfire.org email and all the stuff, so he's gonna be doing double duty, okay? We are ahead of where we thought we were gonna be on the technology side. We didn't think we were gonna be at this point. We are. All right? It's $18,000. We have the money in the contingency fund to buy this and let Larry set it up once and for all, get everybody's email, so everybody know. If I wanna email somebody, I know what their email address is. It'll be their name, at smithcountyfire.org. Everybody's gonna have the same email. So, my question is, number one, we have money in the contingency fund to do this. In the long run, it's gonna save us money because his labor is money. And number three, it's going to get everybody on the same page and make all our system work the way it's supposed to.
Ken Dickey has something to say.
Yeah, there's also a legal issue that's in question too, with using private emails along with the government agency. And there's a question of, because we're sending out private emails and back and forth, you eventually open all the private emails up to the Sunshine Law as well.
Hillary Clinton.
They don't matter.
Hillary Clinton's
Yeah, but unless
If we get in trouble, we'll just destroy our servers.
that works. Apparently that's already been proven.
You guys are firemen, I mean, you should have that down.
So another thing is, guys, this is a one-time cost. And I know we've spent a lot of money on IT, but I want y'all to think about where we were. A lot of this has been playing catch-up to get us on the level that we need to be. And we're almost caught up to where we need to be. It just takes money to get there.
So I'm not against this. I think it makes sense. I think it seems to be just pretty much a consequence of being ahead of where we should have been. So that's, I mean, you speed it up, and now we've got the other stuff on the plate. We're getting to it quicker than we planned. So the only option is to either A, wait to do it, but B, we're gonna pay for it next year again. So that's other times that you could be doing that. My question is, by pulling this out of the contingency fund, what do we have in the contingency fund right now?
72,000.
All right, so plan B, bad summer, dry, and we gotta dip into it and we run out, then we use our savings is what we're looking at, right?
Well, not our savings, we will use money transferred out of our checking account, we won't touch our savings. We've got money sitting in a checking account that's not earmarked for anything right now. Plus this money, there's 12, 14, 28. There's about 25,000 of income that we don't even have earmarked, it's just going in the checking account. That's what Dean is talking about. So that's kind of the buffer to use.
So that's the 16,000 that's sitting in the check account, plus 25, you said?
Yeah, well, yes, plus we carried over 100-something thousand from last year that's sitting in the checking account.
Okay.
That we're going to have to earmark at the end of the year for some capital stuff. But we've got the money, but we want to work within our budget all we can. But if something happened, an emergency, like a bad fire season, we've got the money without even touching our emergency fund. We've got money.
And the other option is, if we don't do this, we're risking having a catastrophic failure on the electronic side of things, which would be far more costly than this amount of money.
Because, for instance, what happened was when that system failed and Larry was up here, that meant that the door controllers went down some way. I don't know how that happened. Noonday had a call. They went to get in the door. They couldn't. Larry, that was up here. He called up here, and Larry was able to go into the computer and unlock their door. But all that happened because of the email system and the
So everybody knows, so it's really clear, what happened when we were trying to cheat Microsoft system just a little bit by creating nicknames for accounts. So we would create all of our users in the system as a contact, and anytime we emailed a group, it would forward to everybody's external email address. On the initial import, when we brought everybody into the system, there were spaces in the email addresses from the Excel spreadsheets when we imported everybody. Well, what would happen is when we were trying to email people, we kept getting bounces because our system couldn't relay it because there was a space. Long story short, Microsoft changed the way that some of their command lines work when you remove exchange aliases. And I ended up deleting every one of our users from our system. And then spent the next 30 hours restoring backups to get all those users back up. And that's why the door systems went down. It's not that the system actually failed, it's that the people that held the cards were no longer in the system. So it didn't,
Sure.
they couldn't let them in because they didn't know that
Well,
they had access.
I think it makes sense, and it is a contingency, and I think it fits. So I'll make a motion to approve.
All right.
It'll go into the other income up here. It'll go there. It'll get it.
Okay, Mr. Teason made the motion to approve this purchase, we purchased the email. for
Next
all
time,
the
call
users.
Paul to help you.
Do I hear a motion and a second, Mr. Teason's motion for approval? Mr. Biggers, seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right.